So we should be back up and running. Let's see if it does come back. It says it's green again, so we might be back. He's laughing. Sex, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay. The internet can totally see you now. To stop, you can use your encoder. Thanks. Okay. So I think we're back. So when did it stop working? No one knows. No one's talking. Anyways, I think we were at render farms, and I just checked this, which I used a while back, and it does not have Arnold support, which I find very weird because it's actually a pretty sophisticated website and a renderer. So when to use normalize and not. So what I tend to do is I mostly sorry about the render farm. Shit. Yeah, so I used Rebus render farm, I think for V-Ray, and it was working pretty good. I'm pretty surprised that it does not support Arnold. So I don't have any any other farms I worked with, so I'm sorry about that. So the normalized thing on the area lights, and what it does, it just so when normalize is ticked off, it means the light is not normalized, which means it behaves physically. So whenever you scale the light in size, it gets bigger surface area and makes your scene brighter. So your light intensity scales with the size of the light. Just checking, it's still live. Okay. So what I tend to do, I mostly disable normalize so it is physically correct, and then I have I will use a physically scaled light, like let's say 1 meter by 30 centimeters neon bulb, which is then one light source, and I just place that on the proper position, and then I just work with the exposures. And if you want to, so when to use normalize is if you have, if you just want to control the shadow softness, but you don't want to increase the light intensity. So let's say your light is 2 meters away from your character, and you like the intensity, it's all good, but you have like really, let's say you've got like really hard shadows on the nose, for instance, it casts light from here on the nose, you've got like hard shadows on the side. And what you want to do is you want to change the softness of the shadows, but you don't want to change the intensity. So then you tick normalize on, and then if you make the light bigger, then the light intensity does not change, but because of the bigger area size, you get really softer shadows. Or if you want to have even sharper shadows, you make it smaller, and then you get sharper shadows. I hope that does explain it. So Pixel Plow supports Arnold5. Let's see. It's really slow, my internet. If this will happen, this cloud runner, and with the subscription, directly you can rent cloud option to. I'm not still stream. But okay, we are back. Thing. Let's see how long this lasts. If this doesn't work, I need to find either a different software or maybe upgrade my internet connection. So, but I think we should be back. And it's so laggy. "14 people watching." Yeah, you're back. Well, yeah. So what was the other question? Do you advise to update to Arnold5? How about ongoing projects? I know they have backwards compatibility. They've got like a something to convert your shaders. Where is that? Where did I see that? Well, anyways, I would not change if you have like a production project and you have like your renders to finish and stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend switching to Arnold5 then, but I would definitely encourage you guys to move to Arnold5 if you can, if you're not in a production, and work with that, because like it is a different thing now, or just the shader is different, which is weird, but you get used to it, and if you understand how it works, it's actually really nice, honestly. And where is the spec? So this is like, I'm trying now to see, open the documentation, and want to explain the metallic slider. So this metal slider, this is kind of what the mode in the AL shader is with the metal mode and was it the electric mode? I think so. This is the slider which is in the AL shader, which is a drop-down menu. And if this is on 1, it's a metal shader. If it's on 0, it's a electric shader. Yes, I think it is still supported, the AI standard. Yeah, but well, I wouldn't be using that anymore because it is deprecated, and it just makes sense to go with the flow, go with the new stuff, learn the new stuff, and learn how to be good with them again. And honestly, it's not that big of a transition, honestly. Yeah, so the metalness slider is the only new thing in there. So if it's on 1, it's metal. If it's on 0, it is electric. So, and then what is new? These are actually kind of the same values as I have in the app. So let's see, 9447663. It's a bit different, but it depends what paper they read or how they measured those values. So you can use those values definitely, but you can also use those values. You will get the similar result. And I also have eta and kappa values, which are a different mode to measure those. What else is interesting? These are the materials. Let's see if it's still, yeah. So seems like the volume collector has been dumped, which is making it hard for me to get to grips with the new standard volume shader with no tutorials addressing the difference. Honestly, I have not tried volume shading yet. Let's see what they have in the docs. Where was that? Was it in shading? Engine, volume shader. I thought they also have like a black body stuff in there as well. Oh no, but this is something else. This is a completely volume shader, but they have like a black body thing somewhere. Surface. Let's see if I find the volume shader, standard volume shader. Yeah, isn't this the same? Deckard. Seems like the volume collector has been dumb, which is making it hard. Yeah, there is a black body tab in the standard volume. Yeah, there it is actually. I haven't worked with that yet, so I can't really tell you any information about that. AI standard is supported but will be removed. Yes. The old shader still can create in the node editor. Yeah, well, you can always, most of the nodes actually you can create with PyMel or mel-create node, and you can actually create, you can even create more shaders which are visible, so they did not expose all the shaders. So I'm pretty sure you can access all the other ones still. Yeah. Time for bed, you see that? I need to go to bed. So what I wanted to talk about is a few more things. So first of all, I did not have any time, really, literally no time to create any tutorials because I'm super busy. I moved to Vancouver. I had to get my place sorted out, to decorate it. I went to IKEA tons of times to get my couch and bed and all this decor stuff. Yeah, so I was pretty busy, and then I started to work at a new company, and it's pretty nice. It's lots of things to learn. We got now a new project to, so I'm pretty busy, mostly over the weekends as well. And then I was writing the app, the Surface app, which is here on the left, with all the different materials which you can access. You can actually also have your favorites on the top, so, and you can see who else liked them. So if you go, I think Plastic has a few different people you can see here. Yeah, and I've added ads. Sorry about that. So then you can see liked by 3 other people, and this is like the start of the app. So I'm trying to create a community around the app, so people can at some point upload their renders, their shader balls, and people can talk about them, give feedback, and you can even have like renders, like if you render a car and you used metal and you used rubber and you used glass, you can tag your car render with those materials, and then you can browse in the library, and then you can see, hey, this car was done using those shaders, and then there will be at some point a little community and people can share ideas and stuff like that. Still need to find like how it should be working. What else is here? You can remove the ads. You can click this button to check for material updates, and then currently there's no new updates. So because I did not create a new shader and uploaded that to the database, so you did not get the notification that there is a new material. So great tutorials, by the way. I recommend them to all my fellow students. Yeah, thank you very much. I get lots of feedback on all the tutorials, lots of emails and lots of comments on the videos itself. So I'm trying to be very thorough in explaining things. So I hope that's a good thing, and I hope you students are happy and learn quite a lot and create better content. I wish actually I had like tutorials like these when I was learning this stuff. That would be great, but unfortunately it was not there. Working here, could you please tell us about what is the motivation behind the motivation? That's also a good question. Yeah, that's first just remote. The thing is, for free tutorials, it's similar to create free apps. So I try to create free content, which is not too advanced, but still advanced enough for most of the users. Like, there are lots of students, and they ask me how to set up a light, how to create a light, how does good lighting look like, and things like that. I think are very basic, and there are lots of similar tutorials like mine, but they are like scattered everywhere. There are lots of written tutorials, and I don't know, I just like to provide the information for people, and at some point I think I will offer like paid tutorials, which won't be too expensive or anything. It's just like a bit more so because I'll need to input more time of my own, and you want better quality, you want advanced information. And when I create those tutorials, I guess they won't be free anymore. Yeah, so currently all the basic things like these material tutorials and all that stuff, for me it's like simple stuff and not too advanced. So I just feel it's not a bad thing to do that for free. Really hope that's how they can put there. Yeah. There's still currently a big discussion about the directional thing in the mailing list. Lots of people confusing about the new Subsurface. Yeah, Subsurface is also a new thing they like, or how they have added that. It's a bit different because you have RGB components which define the depth of the ray. So if I go to the documentation, let's go to Subsurface, there it is. Yeah, so they just have one layer, then they have radius, and you can actually do like add a color to the radius. So you can say that red goes 1 unit, that blue goes just a quarter unit or something. So you kind of have the same effect, but it's just based on one layer. So it is definitely different, but what they want to do is they want to, like solid angle, they want to keep it kind of simple, but should produce good results. So that's what they're trying to do. And I know I have not really worked with that yet, so I can't judge it. It works great for wax, for milk, for plastics, for honey, for like fruits or peach, whatever, all that stuff which is simple works. But for sophisticated stuff like skin, I'm not too sure if this shader like this is too simple. I don't know. I will test it out when I have a bit more time. I will test it out on the on Emily 2. I'm not sure if you know about her, but they have like a free resource for Emily, which is a CG character. Emily 2 CG. It's like a university paper or something. Yeah, Digital Emily. And they've got pretty cool maps for that and models. WikiHuman, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is most of the time I just use this model because it's very detailed and it gives you all the nice pores and detail on the skin, and you get some textures with that. So when I do tests, I test it with this model, high-res geometry model, because you get all the surface artifacts and yeah, wrinkles and everything like that. Mr. Lütke ist am Start. Ja. Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to test out YouTube and how this live function works. It's pretty cool actually. Yeah. Yeah, so let's jump back to the Surface app. So this is currently where I'm at. I'm at version 1.5, and the next version, when I have time, is to make this community. So I'm trying to add like, I will create like a user gallery so users can upload their shaders. So until that works, I need to find a way to actually create the database, and I need to talk or see how Google handles big data volumes. So it's not too simple to actually just upload data and not pay for that. So I need to find a good working server for that. Yeah, talking about the new render layer setup. Lots of people what I heard are like, why is it that I will always go back to legacy render layers? I just go to preferences and disable the new stuff. At some point it's deprecated and it will be removed. So I would encourage you guys to learn the new render layer setup, because honestly it's very powerful. It's just better. It's like the version I used is the alpha version, which was like the first release in my 16.5, which was very bad and buggy and lots of issues, and you couldn't connect all the attributes, and you had to do like hacky workarounds for everything. But in the latest release, I think update 3 to 2017, it's working pretty good. And what I like is it's name based, and you can quickly work on different shots, or if you have bigger projects, you can quickly jump from project A to, or camera A to camera B. So that is pretty nice. And I have a tutorial about that, Mr. Lutke. I'm not sure if you have seen it yet, but I've got it somewhere. Somewhere here. Run optimization. Here, 1, 2, 3. M2 1, 2, 3 is about render setup. So have a look at that. It will explain the basics, but it's still very helpful. Yeah, and then Arnold introduced, or they kicked off AOVs, so they are not really AOVs anymore. It's now working with light path expressions, which sounds like a new thing, a new language or something like that, but it's actually pretty helpful. Let's see if I can find documentation. Not shaders. Rendering. Is it in here? Arnold render settings, AOVs. AOVs, default shader. Where is that? Oh, I think this is still the old documentation here. Anyways, light path expression is like a fancy word where you can now define what each ray type writes to disk. So you can actually just single out the diffuse component, which would be the direct diffuse. Or what you can also do is you can define only the diffuse from one object cast onto another object. So you can really break it. Oh, in the bottom of the page. So you can really break it up. Skin. OSL is also a big thing actually, but I did not check out OSL just yet. But I would love to write my own shaders, which would make my life easier, I guess. So at the bottom, will you ever go over Arnold's workflow in regards to 3D integration? So you mean like VFX integration, like a camera plate and then you want to integrate 3D elements in that? Or what is the question? Could you show us some? Okay, yes, Brandon. Okay, yeah, I think that tutorial would be a more advanced tutorial, because you need to have like, it will be about lots of different things like shadows, like matching chrome and gray shaded spheres to your plate spheres, and matching shadows, light directions, and all that stuff is a bit more advanced, and it won't be, I think, too easy to implement this in a YouTube tutorial, which is 40 minutes or something like that. So I am planning to release like a bigger tutorial. It will be, I guess, on Udemy though. about I always wanted to like CG car integration onto like a moving simple street or something. But I did not have the time just yet to create that content, so I did not do it yet, but I'm planning on doing that, yeah. Also assuming you would use a use background node for the holdouts. I would have done that, I guess, a few years back, but today I would just use deep for holdouts, deep compositing, and I would project the plate onto set geometry so I get proper reflections. And then if you want to have proper shadows, I would just kind of model, let's say it's on a tarmac road, I would just model the road and then just create like a key direction light and just gather the shadows from that and then do the nuke, like composite it over, which is 90% or 99% of the time this just works and you don't need to use any fancy use background shaders to catch the fuse contribution and all that stuff. It's going out. So yeah. When we want to render ZDF pass and then go to composing. Yes, it is definitely possible. I'm not sure about After Effects if you can actually extract the Z data, but yeah, they also have the ZD focus. Yeah, you can do that in After Effects as well. You just render the Z pass and then you need to, I guess, normalize the values from 0 to 1 or something so you have a better depth perception, and then you can just use that, definitely, yeah. I know how to do it in RenderMan, but well, if you know how to do it in RenderMan, it should be straightforward to use it in Arnold, because in the latest PRMan version 21, it's Arnold and PRMan is almost the same now. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, so let's see if I can find the stuff. Actually, how many people are watching? 34. Interesting. Okay, so let's head back to AL. There we go. So they have somewhere, they've got these LPE expressions, like a guide how to create like specific extractions of rays. Let's see if I can search for that. LPE. I don't think so. Let's say last month. Light path expressions. There we go. This is what I was looking for. It was on the shaders actually. So this looks like a cryptic language, but this actually gives you the possibility to really extract or use each ray type and create an output variable for that. And these are all the expressions to create it. I did not really go through them myself and create my own ones, but it is very powerful, and I can tell you it will solve lots of issues also regarding noise. Search light path. Yeah, I did that. Thank you. I think the stream is a bit behind. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is very good. Do you prefer Arnold over other renderers for any specific reasons? Well, Arnold is very good in handling big geometry scenes, and a big movie is Gravity, which had millions and millions of geometry, which Arnold handled pretty well. I would prefer Arnold for commercials, actually. I think, like, because commercials, well, commercials and heavy outdoor scenes, I think for that Arnold is built for, like, ray tracing, like simple ray tracing, not going through different interior lights, buildings and rooms and scatter and all that stuff. For that viewer, I think is still better because you can do this baking of indirect illumination and combine all your final gather passes and whatever they have, which makes your result smoother and quicker to render. But for instance, if you have like something like Gravity or Independence Day or something like that, where you have like spaceships and in space and big ships, or Star Wars as well, I think Arnold would handle all those scenes pretty good. But honestly, Arnold and PR are very close now, especially with the new update of PR 21. And I worked with PR now for a year, more or less. And it's super fast. And they have like a really great shader. It's a pixel surface which has like all the fancy things directly built into the shader, which makes life easier because you don't need to plug in all those nodes together to create a sophisticated shader. I haven't worked with cycles ever, so I also have never opened Blender before. Or actually, I have opened it for like 5 minutes and I could not navigate in the viewport because it has like very weird keyboard combinations, and I just closed Blender again. I agree. Yeah, they did optimize it pretty much, but only for well, they optimized the light sources itself. And they optimized the circular rect lights and what was the other one? And I think the geometric light, but the area light itself did not get optimized as far as I know. Or well, they have actually the video on the homepage. Arnold 4. You see this? This is like a really big improvement in noise. So this is Arnold 4 to 5, which is very clean compared to the other version. And then they also, well, it is actually a bit faster, I agree. The new hair shader is very nice. I worked with that already. Better light sampling, yeah. So I'm not sure if it really handles interior scenes that much better. That's a new surface shader. Yeah. So let's see, what else do we have? They said something about decoupling shading from running so that they could use different render technique like bidirectional. Would that solve some of the problems you have with Arnold in this? Yes, bidirectional is very good, like for that. I also talked with them about bidirectional, and they implemented closures, which is a big step forward to support bidirectional. And it does help because it's like solving from the light source to the camera and from the camera to the light source. Therefore, it gets cleaner quicker. So this is a very big benefit for interior renders and also for caustics. And lots of people requested that Arnold should support caustic patterns for wine glass reflections or diamond shape reflections on the floor, something like that. And this would be possible if they support bidirectional. And they said they will support it in Arnold 5, as well as they said they will support GPU rendering in Arnold 5. But there is no date, so we will just know at some point. We will get that, but not anytime soon, I think. Honestly, I would not work in After Effects for compositing. I know Andrew Kramer is the guru of After Effects, and without him, After Effects would have died like years already. But for compositing, I would always recommend using a node-based approach because it's just easier to maintain. It's more visible. It's just more, it's straightforward to understand what's going on. And After Effects, you always need to comp it, and you always need to pre-render that to see the effect. And then you need to enable this. I don't know. I worked with After Effects in my commercial times lots of times, and I was introduced to Nuke, and Nuke is just so much nicer. So I'm sorry, but I won't be covering After Effects at all. Normally 100 out of 100 is dark. Well, if the AOV is dark, then something in your render settings in Maya is wrong. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I use Extract as well to access multi-channel EXRs, but it is pretty slow. So for After Effects especially, I would render each AOV separately, not in multi-channels, and then you have like faster After Effects work. The same actually is the same as happening for Nuke as well. So also big productions, they don't use multi-channel EXR files because they are just slower to read, and it's very important to have fast read speeds. Yeah, they did not even optimize the area light. They optimized the circular light from the area light. So the area light itself is the same. Yeah, I think in Germany it's because I started this channel when I was in Germany. So what is the time there now? Oh, 8 a.m. Okay. Okay, so people are waking up and getting to work. No, Mr. Lütke. Yeah. So let's go back to the app. Also, if you haven't done so, I'm also active on Instagram, but this is mostly personal stuff, so there won't be as much CG stuff. So recently, or actually this weekend, I was at the Tulip Festival close to Vancouver, and I got a really nice, we had really nice weather, and I got a nice snapshot of some tulips. Yeah, so these are some snaps of my Vancouver, no, this one not, but this one again. So if you like, you can follow. This is mostly, it has nothing to do with CG stuff, except for instance when I was working on Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to tell you as well. No, After Effects definitely works in a linear environment, and in full 32-bit definitely does work with that. I worked with After Effects and full floating projects quite a bit, so it does work. But I would still not recommend After Effects for that kind of work. Have you seen my little puppies here, actually? It's an evil Darth Vader puppy. Oh, shit. Yeah. So I don't have too much to talk about anymore. So if you have still a few questions, let me know, and I will try to answer them. What else can I talk about? No, it's not that. Render farm. Are you an ArtStation? I think I have a profile there, but well, I don't. I've got so many online. No, it's not. I let's search. It's, use batch render. Why can't you should be able to. license, I think. The Arnold license can do batch rendering. You do it. Es geschafft in Deutschland. Where have you achieved your? Well, I started 3D pretty young. I told it comes from gaming. I started gaming, and then from gaming I got the software 3ds Max, and I just learned it like I don't know. I got the hang of it, and I was doing tutorials myself and reading up, buying books, learning 3D, and then I moved to Cologne and I went to the SAE Institute to learn film and animation, which unfortunately just covered the basics, and I knew already more than the basics when I went to start studying, and so I did not really learn anything except film history and a bit of photography and stuff like that, but I did not learn anything about like advanced lighting workflows or advanced compositing or stuff like that. So doing lots, like working and studying, I was also able to do some FX PhD courses to get even better what I was doing, and then I finished my first diploma after 3 years, and I moved to Berlin, where I did my finished my bachelor's in 2011. Well, again, I did not really need that because I had more knowledge or 3D knowledge than they taught at that university, so it wasn't really helping. But I still had the bachelor paper and the certificate, so that did help. And then I was always freelancing, always trying to get better what I was doing, learning stuff. I got into coding, like developing, learning Python and Swift and C++ and all that stuff. And all these languages, they just help you to understand how everything works. And if you know how it works, you can control it. And this is the main motivation, I guess, is for me to understand how things work. So funny, it's like 2 kilometers away from my school. Yeah. So that's my main motivation. I like to understand how things work, and when I know that, I can actually understand them and make them better. Hey man, I appreciate your series on alShaders. It helped me bigly. Okay. Cheers to you for doing these. Hoping we can meet up sometime. Yeah, just got here. Thank you. No problem. I really like the feedback I get from all the tutorials and all the feedback. It really shows that what I'm doing is helping you guys out, which is what I wanted to do. Can your app be available for Android soon? That's one of the questions which I guess get asked most frequently. But as I am the sole developer on the app and I don't have any experience in writing JavaScript or Objective-C, I cannot develop for Android platform just now. I'm planning to learn Java to create Android versions, but it's just me, so I don't have the time. I'm pretty busy still working and doing tutorials for you guys, and so I'm pretty swamped, to be honest. So there will be so far no Android version. Thanks. Your thoughts on SIGGRAPH? What do you mean, my thoughts on SIGGRAPH? There's lots of papers on SIGGRAPH. Doing live. Do you have a standard? Well, the standard first, if it's my own, mostly on settings, very lower on one to do basic lighting. and then I go up to, if I'm kind of happy and I need to see more detail, I go up to 411. Make sure that all the other samples are on 1, no extra light samples, all that stuff. And then if you know you want to do motion blur, then you know you need to have high AA samples. If you know you need to do depth of field, you need to have even higher AA samples. Then it is important that all the other samples are on 1. And then, like, I've got also a tutorial about render optimization, and what I'm showing there is mostly that what I do. I keep it really low res, and then I just go up with the AA samples, and if I see there is still noise in the indirects, then I maybe go to 12, 1, 2 or something like that. So technical papers. It's a good question, Casey. I have not had, I don't have that on my list just yet, so I will. This is all the lists, and it keeps getting longer and longer. So let's say alShader versus okay, so it's on the list. I will try to do something like that, and it's a very good thing to see how they compare and how it is easy to transition. So maybe I will do a transition video pretty soon, like alSurface to AI standard shader. That's a good thing, actually. Okay, and even for Apple Mac, what does that mean? Oh, you mean a Mac app? Well, it makes sense to have a Mac app maybe, because if you work with I started already to develop a Mac app, but it's still very simple, and I need to I just need to sit down and copy the code, because I can do that in Swift as well, so it would be just kind of copy and pasting the code over. I just need to refactor it a bit, but it's a good idea. I might have a Mac version for the Surface app. A turbine? No, I don't think so. It's like a cloth shader, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it's now, I'm not sure. This stream was now online for almost more than an hour, because I have like different versions. So if you guys like this, I think I will be planning on creating another stream at some point where I do actually tutorials. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. I'm not sure if I will keep the stream online. I think I will just remove it from my videos, because it's not really, like, for other people, if it's not live, there's not really sense to watch it again. What do you think Arnold coming with my civilian? Arnold is already shipping with Maya since 16.5, so it should always be there. Would you please make on how to get more super with Arnold? Would be cool. Anyways, I will be going off now, so have a great day. For the ones on the other side, I will go to bed now, because it's now pretty late already. So thank you guys for tuning in, and keep those questions coming. And if you have any other questions, or does it actually work? Any other questions? Just let me know. Okay, thank you guys. I'm off now. Bye.